Hello and welcome everyone to Let's Play Tomb Raider 4 The Last Revelation. Zelda is 115 speaking. Let me welcome you to Giza, the Sphinx Complex. Now, you might be wondering, I forgot to include the FMV cutscene, you know, giving us the narration, what led Lara to leave Cairo and get to Giza, and, well, truth be told, there is none. The moment she jumps off of the roof of the citadel in Cairo, we are thrown into the Sphinx Complex in the necropolis of Giza in Egypt. No explanation whatsoever. Now, I'm sure at some point the Scrolls of Samarkand mentioned that we are, you know, supposed to enter the Temple of Horus, which is inside the Great Pyramid. However, it would be nice to have some time cutscene, and I think at this point the developers were really in a rush to finish the game. Now, again, my apologies for having to wait so long to see the final chapter of Tomb Raider 4 and, you know, us closing this very lengthy and challenging game. However, just like Alexandria and Cairo, Giza is non-linear. But to make things further confusing, this is Tomb Raider 4 after all, it's not entirely linear, but it is. But it isn't. There are a couple of levels from which you can backtrack to the previous ones, then there are a couple of levels from which you cannot, for completely unknowable reason, backtrack, you know, like invisible barriers, that sort of thing. And then there are levels from which, if you backtrack, you end up at the closed walled-off beginning of the next level. Crazy things are gonna happen, you know, and I'm gonna try and explain to the best of my ability when the point of no return is up ahead, just so you know in case you miss something, because it's not as easy as it was in Cairo to really get back and, you know, wrap up that secret with your upgraded bike or something like that. So yeah, just to make things confusing, so I'm gonna be on the lookout for that to inform you accordingly. Now, first things first, let's actually equip this flash grenade launcher, and you probably know what type of enemy is gonna be up ahead that I absolutely love using this on. Von Croy's mercs, there they are, those bastards. Okay, that should have done the trick. Now mind you, if they are further away from the flash grenade, they will recover a bit more quickly, but still, this is too much fun. Now what they do drop is a key. I keep forgetting which one it is. Ah, okay, there we go, perfect. Now this is a so-called silver key. There's not really much to it, you pretty much just have to insert it here. Oh, but now that we open up the inventory screen, just let me pause here briefly. What Lara recovered at the end of the Citadel level with Von Croy and Jackals approaching her was actually the Amulet of Horus, so now it's again in our inventory. Now, I'm not counting this a pickup. Whether it's because of the philosophy, if you not pick it up, it's not a pickup, or it just spawns in your inventory, the truth of the matter is this is an item we have already recovered in the Tomb of Seth. And in Giza, we are actually gonna lose it and re-recover it again. And I'm still not fully decided, but I will probably not count it as an extra key item, because it's the same one after all. So this, along with the breastplate, the greaves, and the gauntlets, is what we need to put on the statue of Horus to summon Horus to kick Seth's ass, you know? We pretty much need a god to beat a god. But things are gonna take a bit of an unexpected turn of events. Now, let's get those Uzis ready, because I prefer to get some range here, and also some ability. Okay, nicely done, Lara. I think we got shot only once. Now, before we start messing with those levers to open a way out of here, this is very important. Please pick up the goodies here. Now, I think you're safe to even leave the shotgun shells over here for a bit later on, but the small health bag over here will actually be stolen by a red and black assassin that will spawn here if you press the levers. Just like in the Great Hypostal Hall, where he was sort of able to steal our small health bag, he can do that here as well, and he will only appear once you press the levers, so it's safest when you do it without him messing it up. Saying that, since this is the final chapter of the game, mind you, the door did not open because we still haven't pulled the other one. Since this is the final chapter of the game, I am gonna mess around with some of the, let's just say, special ammunition and weapons we've been holding off of in the previous chapters. Because if not now, then when? You know, it's not really fun just watching me use pistols and shotgun all the time. Come on. So saying that, yeah, there's the assassin, see where he popped in from. He would have otherwise picked up the small health pack. Now, let's just blast him to smithereens. What say you? Whoa! Okay, this is so much fun, jumping around and lobbing grenades as they're trying to cut Lara to pieces, but ultimately they end up being shredded to pieces. It's just hilarious. And there we go, it's not a coincidence that this level is called the Sphinx Complex. We're gonna get a better look at it, don't worry. And finally, it's actually a Sphinx that does the real well, yeah, the real Sphinx adjusted, you know? Not what was in Tomb Raider 1 or that hideous monstrosity in Tomb Raider 3, Lord's Gate. Ugh, Frankenstein. Yeah, this is actually a proper Sphinx, and it's gonna have a bit of a better significance. Now, this is a jump I'm a wee bit nervous about. Okay, not once I actually dropped here, you know, Lara just didn't have the correct angle to grab it, which was problematic. Now, there is a warehouse area here and there. One we're gonna enter from, this one we're actually gonna leave out of and open the door from the inside. First things first, before you're tempted to grab that large health pack, get your Uzis ready, because there's an assassin who's gonna take pot shots at you. Alright, so get rid of him before he does that to you. Cool, large health pack is ours, and inside we go. Now, this is a very short and sweet level, and it's as part of the Giza non-linearity, you might have already noticed in the sort of floating text, we are gonna be in this level twice, right? But even then, something weird is gonna happen with this level. Oh, man. I'll explain once we get there. Now, a couple of crates we can destroy. I'm probably gonna make all these breakables as statistics in my final stats video. And you know what, let me light up a flare, because it's not fair, just to imagine where things are. Yeah, all that's in this warehouse area is just a pair of Uzi clips, which, you know, is the more useful ammunition type, all things considered. We are going to be facing off a lot of Von Croy's assassins in Giza. After all, this is where our final encounter with him will be. Okay. And now we just have to shoot this. Okay, that was a bit weird, but fine. And crawl through. It's as simple as that. Where we are actually headed is the adjacent storage area, right? Okay, and now, very important thing, there is an assassin. Whoa. Yeah, you can barely see him through the darkness. Whew. Okay, so let me light up a flare to show you he dropped shotgun shells, which, not as impressive, really. Okay, let's also get these crates out of the way and pick up a very important key item, which is actually a spade. Now, it doesn't really have a stick it would be attached to, but you know, if our Alexandria visit taught us something, is that we are able to combine the most mundane of objects together. Okay, so first things first, let me move you a bit out of the way. Just like the original shelf, even these ones can be moved, and what they actually lead to is an item, and picking up that item is the secret, the one and only of this level. Actually, let me just check something very quickly. I believe... Oh yeah, with the exception of the final level, every single level in Giza has exactly one secret. You know, I kind of wish they would make this the standard of Tomb Raider 4, at least you would know if you missed something or not. And there we go, shotgun, as if we didn't pick up 11 of these already. Seriously, that's just underwhelming. Well, anyway, we are now at 63 secrets. We are approaching the sweet 70. Now, press this, and actually, let me get our flash ammo ready, because there's gonna be a welcoming committee of 2 assassins again. And now observe how the assassin that was further away from the blast... Oh, or don't, because he's dead. He would have recovered actually much sooner from it, which is a really interesting mechanic. We didn't give him a chance, because I'm that good. But trust me, that's what would have happened. I've managed to test it a couple of times. Okay, and across the abyss we go. Yeah, actually these sorts of abysses, these pits, are the biggest threat to you in this level. There's not much else to it, really. Yeah. I remember well, let's keep to the left side, and from here, yeah, this is really dark, maybe even let me just use my binocs very quickly. That is not a slippery surface, you can make it across relatively safely, right? And now just one more angle jump, and we are gonna get a nice sweeping shot of the Sphinx as a reward. Actually, Lara will even point her head at something quite important. There it is. But... patience, please, my friend. Oh yeah, okay. Binocs again. We just have to do this, come on. Yeah, okay, it is quite ugly, I have to be honest with you, but at least it reminds me of the real thing in Giza, so that's something, yeah. Okay. There's actually a tablet with an inscription that Lara will read out loud. It's a missable cutscene, but it's really cute, and she actually reads an actual historical text. One of the pharaohs, I think Tutmos was it, he used the Sphinx as, well, sure, you can believe him, the Sphinx told him he needs to rule Egypt, but come on, the guy totally made it up to give himself some divine right or some such thing that worked with people back then. Okay, we need keys to continue to a level called mastabas. Yeah, mastabas were these sort of it's like an Acropolis city where many craftsmen were buried and that sort of thing. Anyway, we're going to be exploring those later on. First, we need to either kill or save an Egyptian soldier from a horrible fate. And based on that, he will give us not only keys to mastabas, but also to a secret armory later on. Now, you know my approach. I want to kill everything just for the kill count, but here I'm going to make an exception, and I will explain later on why. Don't worry, it's all well thought out. Okay, so now I'm gonna try and make it across this abyss so as not to die. I wouldn't want that to happen. And oh dear, you can already probably see them in the distance again. Wow, this is a Binox heavy level. There they are. You know what? I'm probably gonna make this a screenshot for my final stats video. The do not enter and 2 assassins standing there. This is just too good. Okay, so for these guys, I'm actually finally going to utilize the so-called super grenade. Oh man, I can't wait. So let's meet them where they're at so they don't spread out too far. Oh my god, so close! The cluster of grenades flew too far off. Okay, just want to finish him with the shotgun. Usually what happens, both of them blow up. So the thing about the super grenades, as I tried to demonstrate once is Alexandra, is after you fire off one, it clusters into 3 additional explosions. These guys can survive 1 explosion, and one of these post-cluster explosions hit one of these assassins again. Unfortunately, they spread too, well, far away, so it didn't hit both of them, and 1 shotgun blast was then sufficient. But this is not the last time I'm using super grenades, don't you worry about a thing. I mean, we've earned this privilege, come on, we fought so hard to collect them. And on the right Sphinx's paw is a box of white shots. Well, that was a very well-timed sprint slide. Cool, so Lara, finally, I'm gonna satisfy your curiosity. You go ahead and read that.
The inscription reads, "One night, in dreaming, came to me the spirit of the Sphinx. In his passing, he spoke unto me words of great wisdom. Tutmosis, here is your true destiny. This land of Egypt is forever yours to rule. In return, protect me always from the sands of time. As you are, I must be free from head to toe, so that we both may see the divine beauty of creation."
You know, I have to wonder if he would still refer to the Sphinx's words as great wisdom, if the Sphinx would tell him he cannot rule. Probably not. Anyway, yeah, so this is actually the stone tablet there, in the real world. Let me see. What we actually need to do, and what the game doesn't tell you at all, it kind of draws your attention to this place, but that's it, is this spot. You cannot interact it in any way, and if you try and use the spade...
No.
Well, metal blade, nothing happens. Of course you have to combine them. You cannot combine them with revolver or crossbow or laser sights. And now you... Oh, wow. Okay, so pressing the control key once you have them combined actually summons up your inventory screen. That is interesting. Didn't know that. Okay, well, thank you, Lara. You probably spent like 2 weeks digging this hole, but you make it look so easy, and I truly appreciate that. So, first things first, again, let me use my binocs. I want to see how that dark corridor looks. You know, they try to obscure many things, but using the binocs illumination, you can see how ugly they left some areas of the levels that are not supposed to be accessible, because past certain threshold, we are going to find ourselves in the next level called Underneath the Sphinx. Very appropriate. So, let me just show you the statistics screen. So this was the Sphinx Complex. Now, we have found all 10 items and killed all 11 enemies and found its one and only secret, bringing us to the total of 63. During our second revisit of the Sphinx Complex, we are gonna find nothing, kill nothing, We're just gonna take a few steps across this complex to reach the mastabas that I talked about behind the locked gate a short while ago. So that will be the only purpose of our revisit. Of course, at certain stage in Giza you can keep revisiting this level over and over and over, but after a certain point, not, and I will explain later. So for now, let me make a save here, after the Citadel. Wow, it's been a while. And I will see you guys in what I consider to be the scariest level of entire Giza, underneath the Sphinx.